Ready. Check Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are the men with the pen. I am 1/3 of our incredible, illustrious trio. Armand Sadler, the John Cena of journalism, the Brock Lesnar of broadcasting, the Roman Reigns of rhetoric, and the Paul Heyman of podcasting. By now, we're 4 seasons in. Y'all should know that I have not ever done this show alone. I got my 2 incredible co-hosts with me. Cece, how you feeling, my brother?
What's good? It's CC, best rapper and producer in the whole wide world. Got body because I consume healthy products and do town crows, benevolent servant to the earth and philanthropist. And every phrase I say is a gem like amethyst. You could put any nigga next to me. Your girl gonna be like, well, who the fuck man is this? I may talk a lot, but I only got one thing to say. Love yourself, keep going. You are the world, give all you can, take care of your body, your people, and your land. Where my nigga Chan?
We're here. We are, reporting live from the Mid-Car Mafia, intrepid reporter, knees deep into the mid-car scene. We're at a good spot right now. Gunther really doing this thing on Raw. They tried to big time us with that World Heavyweight title belt because they saw us get a little too much on. They're like, let's settle down now. And so I do respect that the new belts are getting their time, but I'm really excited to see what they do with this US title. I think Theory stuff has been cool. But I'm interested to see kind of moving to SmackDown, getting them on Fox, where they kind of put, Theory and that U.S. title belt. Because it's an interesting position because with SmackDown, you just had it so associated with Gunther, the IC belt. And then on Raw, it just felt like Theory just faced Bobby Lashley like every single week for the U.S. title in some different way. And so it's just interesting.
Or Seth.
Yeah, like just over and over. And so it's just interesting seeing what the difference will be, with a new set of challengers. Just a new show. I just feel like SmackDown has a totally different vibe, having Roman there all the time too. Like, so it will just be interesting, especially now that this is not, Money in the Bank Theory. This is, a little bit more serious Theory. I'm interested to see, what they do with that U.S. belt. They give it to someone more veteran, who gets it.
I am really interested in seeing how the flip-flop plays out over time because Gunther, he'd been on the main roster for less than a year, and he was on SmackDown the entire time. And he was just such a constant presence, something that I was like used to. And he's doing great on Raw. But I definitely want to see how it plays out over time. Theory, I think he can still find his footing on SmackDown. I love the pairing with Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in seeing like a year from now how we feel about Theory's presence on SmackDown and Gunther's presence on Raw. But yeah, and you guys can get this type of talk, all types of talk on the A Show Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC, where you can get early access to the A Show with J5 and Meals, the War Report with Cyrus and Quan, spot callers, retro diaries. You can ask us questions. You could give us hot takes. You get access to the next merch whenever that comes. There's just so many things you can get on our Patreon. So once again, strongly suggested if you're going to put your coins anywhere in this wrestling content space, and there are some quality Patreons, but so for our public listeners, if you are not subscribed to the Patreon, you missed a very fun Before We Write trivia segment focused on debuts, popular debuts, and some obscure debuts. And if you want to hear that fun, very fun trivia segment, then all you got to do is subscribe to that Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC. Let's get into our pre-write, recap some things that are happening. I'm going to kick it off. So the draft just passed, obviously. And for some years now, ever since the last draft happened in 2021, we've been talking about call-ups. Braun Breaker's ready. Melo's ready. This person's ready. That person's ready. we've seen the draft happen, and we've seen a lot of people get immersed immediately into the main roster. Pretty Deadly is cooking. Zoe Stark is cooking. Grayson Waller, 2 Grayson Waller effect segments, one with AJ, one with Asuka and all the women. Like, we've seen a lot of great things. But another great thing that they've done, and this J5 talked about this on the A show, the NXT call downs, all these free agents who are not tied to one brand having the freedom to go to whatever brand. Because you think about the free agents, you know Brock is going to be one, but Brock going to NXT, that's not going to happen. Omos a free agent. Omos going to NXT, probably not going to happen. Would it be fire? Hey man, Omos versus Braun. If Omos turns face, just turn me up. Turn me up. I'm with that. But the guys like Ali, who we saw come down to NXT last week, Baron Corbin, who we saw come down to NXT last week and attack Carmelo Hayes. And it's like there's so many people floating on this main roster who really ain't doing nothing, who could either benefit themselves from going down NXT or benefit the roster. Dana Brooke immediately comes to mind. You ain't got shit going on. Respectfully, you're probably not going to have nothing going on in that main roster. You might need to go down and work with Roxanne and work with Tiff and like get your skills up. And also you just bring that veteran presence to them. You think about someone like Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. Shelton is a 20-year vet. Like Shelton, I feel like Shelton might go down there and have fun. Like Shelton versus Wesley, I will watch that. Shelton versus Mello or Cedric versus Mello, I will watch that. Like, Shelton's obviously got some time in the game. He don't show up often. But if you're invested in seeing the company push forward and seeing people within the company continue to get better, you can go down to NXT and have some fun. NXT is fun, man. Like, they do a lot of fun shit. I'm sure Apollo had fun. AJ going down facing Grayson. Worlds Collide when Nikki Ash and Doudrop came down and faced the women's tag team champions. Like, there's a lot of different talent you can go down and play around with. And you can also just either reintroduce yourself to an audience who knew you, or you can like, this is Ali's first time at NXT. A lot of people don't know that. Ali was never in NXT. Cedric Alexander was never in NXT, or I think Ali was there for a brief period of time. Sheldon obviously was never there. Baron Corbin's been on the main roster this whole time. Like, he hasn't been back on NXT since 2016. So you have the opportunity to go down, get over somewhere when you're not over on the main roster, get better, and also help the talent get better. So I think it's a really, really smart thing. I think these are the type of things that we would fantasy book. And so to see it actually happening is like, yo, Sean, you niggas is tapped in. Like, you niggas are doing a good thing. So I'm really fucking with these NXT call downs.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I think we had like mentioned before at some point, like, shaking things up, like not being sure of like what exactly should be done. But hey, let's like try some different things. And it's not like, the concept is new. It's just like you said, just changing who it is that does it, bringing in these new situations that adds to the creativity of, and now you can have things happen in NXT that can further people's characters who were on a main roster who may go back, and also gear those people up who are on NXT for the main roster by having them face people who were on it. So yeah, it's like a win-win, and then you got the fans with new matchups. It's a win-win-win. Everybody wins in that situation.
Yeah, I really don't understand people who are upset with that. It's like, what y'all hate Baron Corbin. Every time Baron Corbin's on TV, I'm the only person who's happy. So now that he's wrestling on NXT, you're mad about that too. So what is he supposed to do? Where's he supposed to go?
It's literally you two, Bri Bosa, Sid, and Z who like Baron Corbin. Like, that's it. Bro. That's it. I don't know. No one else who like that nigga.
But all of a sudden, NXT's like, oh, Baron Corbin can't. He should be on NXT. It's like, make a decision, bro.
This is exactly what Melo needs. Melo needs a completely despicable heel.
He needs Dolph. Braun had Dolph.
Someone who's bigger than him. That's exactly what I tweeted the other. I was like, yo, Baron don't got nothing going on. Nothing. Send him down there. You can even hot potato the title real quick. Like, really give Melo that adversity so he could really become a babyface. That's the biggest critique here, is like, we don't believe Melo as a babyface. Right. Still, like, we're still not there yet. He's popular, he gets cheered, but he's not necessarily conveying babyface. Baron Corbin is that launch pad to make that shit more convincing.
100%. And he doesn't have bad matches. Baron Corbin is, no one's ever been like, yeah, he can't wrestle. Like, you might not like him, but like, no one's like, he's a bad wrestler. Like, he's perfectly sound wrestler.
And that's why I like him, because I like the thing. Like, I'm not a person who likes wrestlers. I like the product. And so when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, who's doing the best thing for this product in a consistent way? And after a while, I was like, yo, this nigga Baron Corbin like keeps it going. Like, he's one of the people who keeps the train going. Like, and that's just what it is. Like, some of your favorites get injured every fucking 3 months. Some of your favorites be having doo-doo ass matches in between. Like, if your problem is that he's not wowing you, that's cool. But you can't come up here and say, oh my God, this nigga's having terrible matches. At the very least, he's keeping it level, which is his fucking job. And that's what I like. I like when people are really good at their jobs. That nigga's really good at his job.
Deep Six, cool. End of
Bruh.
days, cool. Like I
Bruh.
like stop hating, bro. Like, come on. It's cool. He has cool
Bro, the
moves.
move where he
Choke
go
slam,
out on the
cool.
mat, go around the corner and come back in. That shit hard, bro.
Cool.
What the fuck?
That shit fire in a 2K too. This nigga Tyrell hit me with that shit. I was like, oh, Baron's leaving the ring. Nigga sprints back in, clothesline me. I'm like, hold on, whoa, that's not cool. How you supposed to reverse that? But yeah, that's what I got, man. Shout out to these NXT call downs and just kind of also having that synergy, because for people who don't watch either the main shows or they don't watch NXT, like, you see this nigga, you're like, wait, who is this? And then they say, oh, he's coming from Raw. You might go watch Raw. Or someone from NXT coming up, it's like, oh, I don't watch. Who's it? He's on NXT. He's this champion. You go watch NXT. You draw people to both shows. Like, it's just good business. It's good business. Yep. That's it. And CC, you have a point related to business, and I'm sure it's going to be bad business. So.
I mean, I think we need to talk about it. Bad business is the correct way to describe where I'm about to go with this. Guys, let's just be honest here, right? The world has been globalized, you know? There's barely any real borders, even though people are trying to make sure they're staying up. But, you know, stuff's happening all over the world. I know kids who grew up in the hoods of America listening to K-pop. You know, I seen niggas do the toughest shit in the world. These motherfuckers know more Taylor Swift than my damn coworkers. It's just crazy right now. There's stuff all over the place. Which means there's more opportunity. You know, there's more spaces to do things. And wrestling is one of those spaces. Or at least it could be if it wasn't for fucking AEW. I'm going to break down just how terrible this company. This is the reason why I'm gonna break this down, just so I'll let everybody know. My problem is that it doesn't need to be a product that I like. It doesn't need to be a product you know, that hits like certain numbers or whatnot. At the very base, what it should do is find an audience, find people to perform for that audience, and take care of the people who perform for that audience. And if you can, also the audience, as well as your actual business. None of those things are happening at this business. None of those things are happening. Bro, imagine like going to work and like you just got diagnosed with cancer and your boss is like, all right, but you going to go and do that presentation though, right? Or whatever, which is essentially happening. Or having situations where niggas being like, listen, we're trying to make sure there's more Black executives. You know, we're trying to hire for more higher positions. So here you go. You know, you're going to have your own department, hire you or whatever. You never get a project, can't add anything to your resume for 4 years. I mean, come on, bro. Like, if I put it in other analogy, in other terms, you'd be like, why would somebody do that? That's what these niggas is doing, bro. Like, and the worst part about it is the fans are suffering because there is a base that's there that wants to see a lot of the things that they put on TV. But because they're running their business so terribly, I don't think they're gonna be able to, you know, to keep that, and it's gonna ruin the next people who go to do this same thing, because they're gonna they go to investors, and those investors are gonna be like, yeah, but look what that last company who went up, you know, and tried to do some things like WWE were doing and try to get big. That's a closed market. You can't do it. Like, that's ultimately my problem. If you gonna fuck up your own plate, nigga, it's your plate. I can't tell you what to do with it. But this nigga is literally fucking up people's other, you know, these niggas, like, they fucking up other people's plates. We talking about people in the actual promotion, as well as people who are in other promotions. Like, I know he probably thought he was in character, or maybe even not in character, and just deciding shooting was great. But when MJF buried NJPW like that, or whatever, that shit like wasn't cool. Like, it was weird. And it's just little shit like that where it's like you letting your people who even work for you to do that, you're not treating them right. I think what upsets me about it the most is we have a time where you can get into so many different things. And instead of saying, well, here are all the wrestlers and actually training people and doing blah, 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 and taking the time to give people something good as well as treat the people well who are doing it, actually give them opportunities to actually showcase their skills, but also make sure they're taken care of or whatever. Instead of doing that, you're just fucking around, and it's like irresponsible. And as somebody who just likes studying different like little business shit, it's annoying to watch a nigga just waste money. That's the most annoying part about it. But yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. I still fuck with some of the people over there, even some of the people I think is like tiny bit corny, but I still, I'll watch them every now and then. There's nothing against them or the fans or anything like that. I just hate when a nigga run bad business. There's some bad fucking business, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't really got much else to say. Like,
No notes.
It's just like, bro, it's I've really come to terms with what that company is going to be, but it's just like it's like when you see an artist, a music artist, and you like their stuff, and you know what it could be if they do certain things better. Like
Bruh.
they get a better engineer, they do more features, they
Yeah.
perform, they do better promotion with their
Try
stuff.
that
Like,
voice that you did for 2 seconds in that song for like a whole song, like little shit. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like you have all the parts to make a really great song, but you don't use the parts the right way, and then you let some of like Tony Khan just don't got no control over MJF, and it's like people think that like edgy shit, yeah, it gets clips, it pops the weird marks and shit, but like you can't position a MJF like you could position a Cody Rhodes or a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns. Like it's two different ballparks, and again, I think they're appealing to different people, so holding them to a WWE standard is like inherently flawed, but they're trying to compete with WWE.
Yeah.
they're trying to be the alternative. Not they don't want to be 1B or number 2. Like they want to be number 1. And it's like to be number 1, you gotta knock down WWE. And it's like, y'all ain't got that. Like y'all don't got that. The hottest thing going over there right now is my nigga Orange Cassidy. Pockets is him,
Bruh.
bro.
Yeah.
Pockets is him.
Hard, bro. Or
Pockets,
get hard, bro.
Pockets is nice. That's my guy, yo. That's
That
That's
my
what I
nigga
was
do
guy.
that
talking about.
dive,
I'm
bro.
like, and the thing is like you see a character like that, and see, here's the thing about a character like that. A character like that actually like that's one of my favorite kind of characters because it doesn't that character is so good at the fucking wrestling doesn't matter. It's just a good character, period, in any story, anywhere. That's a good character. So there's no reason why like a year from now, whatever, he shouldn't be showing up in like little comedies that he can like get into. Those like C and B list movies, but still get released to Netflix, and maybe somebody might notice it that leads to the next thing. Like
No.
he could play that kind of thing like in a movie, or like AEW could like, team up and do like a quick little episode with somebody. Like it's just little things like that that you could be doing that you're not doing, that you have all the resources technically to do. It's just that you're wasting that money on dumb shit and don't know what to do. So it's just like, I don't front. It's just what the fuck.
I think part of it too, and this is like part of my biggest problem, because not even from a business side, almost from like a theoretical side. It's like I see what you're trying to do because you do have people like Orange Cassidy or like some of the stuff House of Black does. Where like this is incredible. Like this is really cool when you give someone creative control and they can just do whatever they want. But then you hear a name like Mogul Affiliates, and you're like, yeah, maybe everyone shouldn't have that kind of free reign. Maybe that's actually maybe everyone shouldn't be able to pick things. And I think that's just their problem over and over again is that you just can't, unfortunately, you want to think you can let artists have full control over everything, but some people can't handle that, or like that's not their skill set. And you're just setting them up to fail by letting them do it. And that's just like the saddest part where it's like you you have Keith Lee, and Keith Lee used to be such a big deal, bro. Adam Cole used to be such a Andrade, bro. I almost did Andrade's call up today, bro. You remember Andrade with Zelina, bro? You could
I
have
don't
told
want to
me
talk
he's gonna
about
be the
it.
next WWE champion, bro. I would have bought it, bro. They made him US champion. Dumb early.
Bro, he was on track, bro.
Bro married Charlotte Flair.
Bro, like, come on, what are we doing?
Real house husbands of WWE type shit, bro. And he barely on TV, bro. it's like just annoying. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like, come on, man. But they'll figure. I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna. They grown people. They gonna figure out. They gonna do what they're gonna do. But it's just annoying. It's just like it just could be better. It just and that's the sad. It's like it just you just see how this could be. It don't have to be this way. It could just be better, but it's not.
Simple as that. Chan, what you got for us in the pre-write, my brother?
It's so funny because CC mine really speaks to yours because I am a bit international with mine as well. So WWE announced they're doing that show in India in September. They announced that a couple weeks ago. It was on all social media. I remember because I saw it. A bunch of people liked it, retweeted it. Then recently, Indus Sher has re-debuted with Jinder Mahal. People, for some reason, have not linked the two events and are like, why is Indus Sher winning so much? Why are they winning so much? Do you know that there are 1.429 billion people in India?
That is almost a quarter of the earth, nigga.
Billion. It's the second largest English speaking population in the entire world, behind America. I just think about it, bro. Businesses are in the business of making money. If you just saw, like, we just had the Bad Bunny thing. Everyone saw how cool that was.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, it's like you don't think they're gonna do the same thing when they go to India and the same thing when they go to the next country. It's like this is going to just be a thing. Like just accept this is going to happen. Like I was looking at the tag team lineage. We haven't had like a real powerhouse tag team since like 2019 Viking Raiders. Like most of our tag teams have been like RK Bro, Rollins and somebody because he was doing that for quite some time. And then the Usos, the Street Profits. So they've been kind of like more equal tag team, but we haven't had like a real bruising powerhouse tag team in a while. And it's like, this is WWE. They love their big boys. And they're going to do this show in their home country in 3 months. You can't tell me you don't think they're getting the match, bro.
Is this you trying to kind of soften us for when Nav appears at the show?
I'm letting y'all know. I'm like when Jinder comes out to friends and family, and Dasha on Seth Rollins, that yell you're hearing is it someone dying? That's me. Because I
Driving
want
sober, I just don't know who I am.
that would be kind of hard though. Like for real, if they really did come out to some Nav, bro, I'd pop, bro. That would be fucking hard, bro.
Bro,
That would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's just like, come on, bro. Like, think about this. If they go to Africa, Kofi's gonna win too. Like, this is going to be a thing. Just make peace with it. Don't act so surprised every time there's a hometown here. They do the same thing when they go to fucking Pittsburgh. You don't think they're gonna do the fucking when they go to Japan? Like, use
well,
your
it's
brain.
which is crazy because actually the trope is you lose in your hometown. Like Bad Bunny is one of the few acts who won in his hometown. It's Bad Bunny though. You gonna have that nigga win, but it's just like I feel like Indus being featured prominently, regardless, is major for them and major for their people.
Of
So,
course.
yeah, I think even if they aren't gonna be future champions, definitely got to get used to them being on TV. Like they really want Veer to work. Like
Yeah, man.
they had Veer cooking the Mysterios. Like they
Mhm.
really want Veer to work. That they know gender draws attention. It's typically negative, but he draws attention. Sangha, I'm not too familiar with him, so honestly, like he's gonna be that. There's always a third guy who's just like there.
Yeah.
But Veer's dope. Like I actually do fuck with Veer. It's just like we need more. We need more. And so and I think that like they're still establishing it. What they've had like 2 matches. So
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they deserve it. I'm saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying make peace with it. Like it's like people just need to understand that. Like I feel like this is like something that as you get older you realize, but like when you're young you don't. Is that like WWE, the NBA, the NFL, Rock Nation, they are in the business of making money.
yeah.
Full stop. Music, wrestling, that's just the means. They're
Mhm.
going to make the most money possible every time. That's the whole point. They get fired if they did something else.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if they see an opportunity to make a bunch of money, they're gonna do that. So just understand as this gets more global, it's gonna be used to their advantage. You're gonna start seeing programming in different languages. You think they let Oscar and Io get up there and just speak Japanese for the fun of it? They getting
Bruh.
y'all ready, bro. They getting you ready for the revolution, bro. It's not getting less cultural, bro. It's not getting less global over here. The world in WWE is really going you're gonna feel that here in the next few years. So I'm just telling people make peace with it now. Like just breathe through
I see y'all boys when it's time to watch golf.
it. Hey man.
Shout out to the blood money. let's
Their lives.
let's move on to our free write. I'll kick it off because this is something that I've been thinking about a lot ever since Monday Night Raw. So we saw Damian Priest had the World Heavyweight Championship match against Seth Rollins. He lost, but Finn Balor came out and Dame was looking at me. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Now, in my mind, the first person who was always all right. So actually, I'll say it. I always thought the first person who was going to end up leaving or getting kicked out of Judgment Day was Dom Mysterio. I felt like they would eventually get tired of his shit. He would get too cocky because he's been like, he's the mouthpiece and he wrestles, but I feel like he kind of gets them into shit too. Like he'll be like, you know, talking, and then Rhea will step up, or Finn and Damian will step up and have the matches. Like Dom wrestles. He don't wrestle a lot, but he wrestles. And so I just thought eventually they would get tired of his stuff. But now you see, I don't want to say cracks are forming, but this is the first time we've really seen some type of like discord between Finn and Damian Priest. So it's like, damn, could Finn leave? Could Damian leave? Because I think we all know Finn want that world title match, and I think it's going to happen at some point. So I want to ask you two, who do y'all think will be the first person to leave or get kicked out of the Judgment Day?
I think it's kind of like I was just saying. Like I remember after the Bad Bunny thing, it was all over Twitter. Damian Priest is viewed internally as a big guy. They're gonna looking at him as a main event guy. They're gonna push him. And I feel like people registered that but didn't understand what that was going to look like. Because to your point, I think originally Dom probably was going to be the first one out, but then him and Rhea got way too over, and they're not going to break that up because that's like that's one of the most over things they have, even like just on Twitter, like just seeing them like go viral. And so they look around, and it's like, well, Finn with Judgment Day is kind of funny, and he's not doing anything else. And if Damien's gonna be this main event guy, he can't. There's no way. Like we talked about this last episode about who's gonna win gold. I do not see Damien as the world heavyweight champion and Finn and Dom as tag team champions. Like I don't think that even really makes sense. So it's like, well, Dom has to leave then. He's too big for this thing. And I think that's kind of the pivot they're gonna start to make is that Damien is just gonna have to break off, but in a way where it's like not that they don't want him in the group, but he's just kind of like, I don't need y'all anymore. So I think now it's going to be Damien, and he's probably gonna get more like a singles run, probably be back in Gunther's face, mid card type stuff. But I think it was probably going to be Dom, but like
I need Damien and Gunther
punishment.
Need that.
Yeah, bro. So I think that's probably where we're headed with that. And I think Finn might place Gunther too. I mean, I could definitely see them running that with Judgment Day, but I definitely think it makes much more sense because it's like, yeah, Dom and Rhea are far too over. Finn with the three of them is still kind of funny. Damien's one who can fly solo for a little bit. I think you're good.
And bro, look, I don't know if the streets remember. It was like 2019, 2020. Finn cut that promo on NXT.
Yes, sir.
Holding the passport, talking to Gunther. He was like, hey, yo.
Come face me. Come step to me.
I'm coming to see you. Like holding the passport with it was just a gangster.
Yeah, it was right before COVID, bro. I remember. I remember that.
Yeah, we need that too. So there's a lot of interesting things that happen. But yeah, it's like I don't know the last time we've seen a stable like this. Typically, it's one star and then two people kind of beneath them. But it's like with the way Damien's been working this year, you could see him being a real world title contender. But then Finn is Finn. So it's like, what are they gonna do? So that's where I'm kind of lost at. CC,
it's almost like
go ahead.
Sorry, let's go. It's almost like not the same, but like an evolution situation where it's like, yeah, bro, Batista's just too big now. I'm sorry, like he can't be here anymore. Yeah, bro, Randy Orton's just too popping, bro. He can't be here anymore. Like it's not a thing of like they kicked him out, but it's more just like, yeah, Batista, he's the fucking animal. Randy Orton's the fucking man, bro. Like so you got to, and it's like it'd be cool when they face each other down the road and come back and reform and all that stuff, but you gotta let him leave the nest.
Yeah, and it's like I think Dame's second babyface run is going to be great because his first babyface run, like he was riding up the momentum of like debuting with Bad Bunny,
Mhm.
and then, you know, facing off with the Miz. Then his US title run is when shit kind of got awkward. But now that he's established the character, getting more comfortable on the mic, like I think his second babyface run could be really good. Finn, we've seen he can be really good with it. So yeah, I think whatever direction they like, it's like J5 said again, like Dom is they're gonna have the hardest time turning Dom babyface. Like, and I think it would start with Judgment Day beating his ass and then Santos and Ray helping him. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be an interesting situation. CC, what you got for Judgment Day, man? How do you think this powerful stable, one of the most, it's since the Bloodline fell apart, Judgment Day is the most powerful stable. It's either them or it's Imperium. So how do you think Judgment Day falls apart?
This is so funny because this is going to be my question. This is the first question I thought about. So for me, for the exact same reason that Chan said, Damian, Rhea. You know, Rhea's like, for me, I can see them doing a play where Rhea looks around and she's like, I'm the only one around here that has any gold. Like, you know, I'm the only one around here that's done this, that's done that, blah, blah, blah. You know, and then that could be like another way to turn Dom face in a weird way, is like him being like kind of like this the lover who's like being abandoned by their more successful, you know, driven by success and kind of not putting themselves into the relationship anymore or whatever, like that kind of angle. But yeah, no, I see Rhea as the only other one that's probably like most viable to me. If it's not Rhea, then definitely Damien. But yeah, for where Finn and Dom are right now, I've never seen them in better places, and I don't want to see them to go anywhere else soon unless, you know, it really, really makes sense. Whereas with Damien and Rhea, they've already established such sort of like a presence, at least with me, as individuals pre-Judgment Day and even within the Judgment Day, with the way that their characters are, that I can just see them, you know, going off on their own.
I will say though, before they break up, Dom got to figure out this gear. I don't, I don't know if the vest is it. It's kind of like the Roman thing for me, where it's like, bro, you wearing too much clothes, bro. Like it's getting weird, bro. With the tassels, and it was cool when he was with Ray because Ray wears the baggy pants. So it was like, oh, y'all both got silly pants on, but Dom might have to change up the gear a little bit. If you want to kind of fly solo and be a little bit more imposing, I'm gonna need you to take off that vest, bro. It's just a thought, just a note. Can I go next? Perfect.
Oh yeah, sir.
Because mine kind of plays into that one. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, so hypothetically speaking, we are at the pinnacle of what I like to call the Charlotteverse. So this is a hypothetical triple threat match that could happen um between the Charlotteverse. So we have Charlotte Flair versus Dark Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, versus Charlotte Flair Jr., Tiffany Stratton. Who wins the match? Who is the superior Charlotte? That's your question.
Damn.
Like right now.
Like if they had this match, let's say WrestleMania, they make it Charlotte wins the Royal Rumble. She challenges both Rhea and Tiffany. She says, I want both titles at WrestleMania.
So this
That's
is
actually a
Wow.
fire
triple
storyline.
threat.
I shouldn't have
Wow.
said that because that's actually an
No,
incredible storyline.
no, I need it, Janet. What? That's crazy.
That's something Charlotte could really get off. Be like, I want Royal Rumble. I want both. That'd be hard.
Twitter's not going to be happy with you. Both titles in one match, that cuts off another deserving woman.
They, hey man, and they're keeping track of those matches, brother. They know the minutes and the seconds.
Yeah.
They know.
Shit. I mean, if it was at a WrestleMania between Tiffany and Charlotte, because this would mean Tiffany is on the main roster. I feel like if this was like her first year on the main roster, Tiffany would probably lose.
Yeah.
If she's a couple years, it's kind of similar to the Rhea situation. Rhea was NXT champion. She wasn't even on the main roster yet. Yeah. Charlotte beat her, took the title. And then we see 3 years later, Rhea beats her. So I think if it's Tiffany's first year, she loses. That kind of empowers a whole babyface run. But if it's like a couple years down the road, because Charlotte's getting up there, she's like late 30s, I'm pretty sure. So, and I think her being willing to put over Rhea is obviously amazing. So I get that. And I think I'm sure Charlotte has a lot of respect for Tiffany because I think everyone has a lot of respect for Tiffany. So I think at that point, I feel like Charlotte might be willing to put her over. I feel like she would see a lot of herself in Tiffany, and it's like it's time for you to kind of take over and be the workhorse. Like I'm the attraction. I've been the attraction. I don't need to show up as often. You're the person who could be here and hold this title and really run the division. So I could see Tiffany beating Charlotte one-on-one. Now, if it's a triple threat, that changes everything. I feel like that changes everything. Especially Charlotte as the Rumble winner.
Sure.
Challenging both of those women, because that would mean Tiffany is a main roster champion.
And this, she challenges for the NXT Championship and I hate that they call it the SmackDown Championship because it's on Raw, but
yeah, oh my god, that's wild. Because wow,
I feel like Charlotte, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker could get this off. Just being like, I want to, and then just have to be like, what? You scared?
that would be a huge attraction. Like you're incorporating the NXT crowd, the main roster crowd. Charlotte brings who she brings. Rhea brings who she brings. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, especially because like
who's supreme?
There's been some good women's triple threat matches. My fear is a situation like the Becky, Ronda, Charlotte one happening, where that one the chemistry was a little off there.
It was also like 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was late, yeah. It was late too.
It was dumb late, bro.
So shit, I can't call that one. CC, you take that one. I don't got nothing.
So here's what I think we should do. I think it should be a triple threat match. I think the rules should be that since we're talking about Charlotte throwing her weight around, I think the rules should be that Charlotte challenged for the title. Only she can win both titles. But whoever, if the one pins the other, whoever gets pinned in that situation has to face Charlotte for their title at WrestleMania Backlash. I think let's go crazy. Let's make that the stakes. Given that, yeah. now that we're in that space, because this is the only way I can kind of like picture this going. Now that we're in that space, I say, Charlotte doesn't pin anybody. I don't think she gets pinned. I think one of the others, pin each other. It would be cool if Tiffany did it, because it would just be like a moment where it's like, oh, she pinned Rhea Ripley, however it happened. It might, not like straight up, like, they got to it at the end and Charlotte was outside and she just straight up bested her. More like a situational, like kind of how Austin Theory had his situation with the spear and everything. So like something like that. But yeah, I would say, let's give it to Tiffany and then let Rhea and Charlotte kind of fight it out, and then let Tiff have that experience of being there to taunt the both of them, because her character having time to do that is going to add to, when, the years down later when she has to, talk crazy to people and whatnot. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going with Tiff.
The reason I asked that question is like after watching her match at Battleground and seeing that like moonsault, the top, like the power up flipped finisher, I just so clearly saw her doing that against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She is like really good at wrestling. Like she is incredible, bro. Like I was not fully sold on it because the character for me was the whole little daddy's girl. I was like not really into that. That's kind of annoying. But watching her work, like her last couple matches, like yeah, she's just an athlete, bro. Like, and that finisher is so hard, and I can just see her. I can see Charlotte having Rhea Ripley in like some type of figure 4, figure 8 type position, and she hits that moonsault on Rhea and then pins her, and Charlotte like not because she falls away. I could just see it, and I think Tiffany Stratton is really going to do a lot, and like I think she could be up there in terms of title reigns. Like I think she could maybe not hit Charlotte's number, but I could see her being up there, dude. Like I think she's going to be really good, and she doesn't have like I think Charlotte had like the 4 horsewomen. Rhea has Bianca. Tiffany might time it up where she hits the main roster and doesn't have that many peers. Like she might get there right ahead of Cora or right after Cora, and then depending on what they do with Roxanne, like she might time it up where she has like a bunch of title reigns, bro. I could just very much so see her being on Monday Night Raw, some like Roman Reigns-esque 1,000-day reign as women's champion type shit.
Especially if she's a heel. I could see
Yeah.
her being like kind of like Edge. Like Edge got a lot of his title reigns off of being a heel.
Yep.
But yeah, I think she's got the full package as a wrestler. All she really needs to do is slow down on her promos. That promo she cut last week, she was sprinting through it. It looked like she was reading off of something that was on the ground. I don't know. It looked like, but it was like, yo, the character is there. We all like wanna, like be a fan of yours, even as a heel, but you kind of gotta own it a little more. It feels like she's playing the part rather than like being the part.
Right.
But yeah, no, she's great. Tiffany is her. I'm a huge fan. So that was a really good hypothetical. I might have to run that on 2K and see what happens.
Hey man,
because Tiffany has been added to WWE 2K23. For all of you who don't play, Tiffany is a playable character now. So this match could very much so be a reality. But to close off Free Right, CC, what you got for us?
all right, guys. We're gonna get serious. We're gonna get very serial, okay? No, I mean it's just it's kind of goes back to the business thing I was thinking about, like just all the people involved. This was part of the reason why I was upset at AEW in the first place, is because, like I said, there's all these different outlets now, so many different people have access to do these things that, it used to be only a smaller population could even do this wrestling thing. And now just look at the population of people who are even trying to do it, versus how many people are actually doing it and then how many people are actually doing it. So when I look at that, I'm just like, there needs to be space for all these people to get their shit off, learn how to do it right and whatnot. And with AEW clearly moving towards just shutting down doors at some point, it leaves all these people out here. And that kind of makes me think of like WWE. They had rehires for the last like year or so. They had call-ups just now. And then they got, they're already advertising, and there's, rumors about certain people who are going to be coming back soon or whatnot. And I just started to think like, okay, we've got a lot going on here. We got a lot of people here between SmackDown and Raw. So my question was like, with all the, the rehires, call-ups, injuries coming back or whatever, like, how do you think like managing that large roster is gonna go? Like, do you think there's gonna end up just being cuts because it's too many people just not being used at all? How you guys think that's gonna go?
I feel like cuts are inevitable. Yeah, they happen every year. It's a lot of people's favorites who get cut, and those favorites may not necessarily be draws or attractions, but a lot of people's favorites get cut. Like, that's just some shit that happens. Like, people were sad to see Rusev go, and Rusev had a great, he was in the E for like 6 years. He had a great 6 years, main roster 6 years. Like you saw Braun Strowman get cut, you saw Keith Lee get cut, you see a lot of carrying Aleister Black. Like, it happens, it's inevitable. I think Triple H is very keen on keeping a larger roster because you need jobbers at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you can also just book who you want. So you can book a competitive match like KO Gunther on Monday Night Raw and get what you got out of that. Then you can also book Gunther against fucking Cedric Alexander and have him cook him and give other people a break. Like, there are ways to utilize talent without them wrestling. And I think the biggest hurdle that a lot of talent run into is they all think they should be more than what they are. And a lot of them don't, like, shout out to like the Dolph Zigglers, the Baron Corbins, the Chad Gables, the people who kind of recognize it's not my time right now, but I can still be productive and effective for the betterment of the show, for the betterment of the roster. And so I think cuts typically happen after Mania. No cuts have happened yet. And I think a big part of that is obviously the Triple H running the regime. Like, we may see some later on, or maybe this month, because I remember some cuts happened in I think like June 2020. And stuff happens, randomly throughout the year. But I don't know. I can't really predict anyone that would go. Like, they're not going to cut the injured people, Randy Orton, Big E, Liv Morgan, like the Drew. Then I know Drew is figuring out his contract stuff, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Aaliyah. I don't want to see Aaliyah go. I really fuck with Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah's great, but like, she's been cleared since October. She hasn't done anything, so it's possible she could go. I really don't know, but I don't think it's going to be one of those big kind of events or things that people, harp on for a week. Like, oh my God, all these people went, blah, 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 because I think Triple H recognizes having a roster, a tiered roster. Like, I've got my main players. I've got people who are good hands who can wrestle often. I've got the jobbers who I can just throw out there to enhance someone else's matches. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I see it.
I think obviously I agree with all that. I think just on a booking side, I think what you're seeing also is, and I've been saying this for a long time, and I'll continue to say it, there really aren't that many tag teams right now because the tag belts aren't really being defended and they're kind of wrapped up in the main event storyline. I think once the tag belts get separated or they figure something out with that, I bet you a lot of these people will end up in tag teams. So I think part of the problem is now that you have just a bunch of floaters because they aren't competing for any of the mid card or main event belts. And then Sammy and KO are facing Gunther, and he's the IC champ. And so I think part of it is just that, like, with Roman having both main titles for so long and the tag team belts also being unified and being a part of the whole main event storyline, you just didn't have as much real estate for people to wrestle. And I think once that starts decompressing, like you're already seeing, look at when was the last time, the WWE Championship was defended on Raw? Wasn't it like Big E or something? It was like
Big
It's
E
been 2 years.
Lashley, Big E Lashley,
yeah.
2021.
So like even now you're seeing with having another champion, you have more matches, more fights, more people have stuff to do. And I think that was just a natural consequence of having all the belts tied up in one thing. It just felt like people didn't have stuff to do. And I think now that we're separating that, a lot of that will get worked out by having just we're gonna have a tournament for the next Universal Champion. We're gonna have an 8-man, like all those matches, all them battle royals. Like that's what they need all them people for, and they'll be busy doing that and having tag team turmoil, ladder matches, and all kinds of nonsense.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I agree with Armand. It's not going to be dramatic, and I also agree with you, Chan. That clearly they know that you need different levels of people to kind of make this thing move. And it was funny because for when we first started this, we just kept asking for a little bit more of that, and now we got it. But I was just looking at this situation. I'm like, okay, I hope we don't make the balloon burst or anything like that. But yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, some people will, like Armand says, it's just part of business. Some of them will get cut, or it's just like they tried it, it didn't hit. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
some people who just, hey man, it wasn't your time. Maybe you'll build this up somewhere else, come back. I mean, they say it all the time. Look at someone like Cody Levante Rhodes. You try it, it pops. You rebuild. Now the American Nightmare, dude. Just some people it hits at different times. So like get it. As you get older, you realize when you're younger and your first time seeing your fave get cut, you're like, oh my god, this is the end. I'll never see him again. But you realize, hey man, people figure it out. And the ones who are gonna be that guy or that girl, it hits. It'll hit when it hits. So
Hey,
that's nothing too,
I, as a 9-year-old, had to deal with Brock Lesnar leaving the WWE.
bro. I thought I'd never see him again.
There's nothing that can hurt me. There's no one who could get cut that'll hurt me the way that I was hurting watching that WrestleMania, knowing he was going to be gone after losing to Goldberg. Now, Drew, I don't know if I said it on this show. I don't know if I said it in Discord, but I'm gonna say it here. I know people are speculating Drew might leave. He wants a bigger contract. He might go to AEW. I'm gonna say it again if I've said it already. If Drew goes to AEW, I'm not following that nigga there. It's not happening. Drew, it's been great. 2020 was fantastic. The lead up to Clash of the Castle was fantastic. Nigga, I am not following you to All Elite Wrestling. You go be Drew Galloway over there. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm done. It's not happening. Shout out to a Claymore kick. Shout out to the Future Shock DDT, all that shit. I'm not following you there. But where I am following is to the rewrite segment. And as we said in the Patreon, if you were listening, or when I promoted the Patreon, which you should sign up for, patreon.com/THORNC, we are rewriting debuts of several characters throughout the WWE history. Very extensive history. So we can go near, far, major stars, obscure stars. Like we can take it anywhere. So I'm interested in where the guys go. So Whoever wants to kick it off, please do.
I'm gonna go. Oh, sorry. Did you want to go?
You can go.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, because mine is like pretty much in line. It's funny how our conversation went or whatever. We mentioned both of these people or whatever. And actually, I think I forgot which one of you did, like right after another. And as soon as I heard you say it, I was just like, oh, well, shit, that's my rewrite. So I'm gonna just get back into it. So we are in 2021, I believe. Yes, we're in 2021. It's summer, late summer-ish or whatever. Big E and Bobby just had that cage match where Big E hit the big ending off the second rope. Put that nigga down. You know what I mean? Pause. Drew comes out, points the sword at him. Another pause. And just like, yeah, I'm coming after that championship. And then we get in the fade, to go out or whatever. But then the lights like cut off and like cut back on, then like cut off and then like cut back on, and then there's like a smoky haze behind Drew, and then there's like a large shadowy figure coming towards Drew from the smoke. He's not seeing it; it's behind him. It's Bearcat, bitch. That's right. It's Keith Lee. Keith Lee destroys Drew. He comes back as Bearcat and he just wrecks Drew. He just just fucks him up real bad, steps on the sword, kicks it off like he's trying to kick up dust or whatever, just like, get this out of here or whatever. And then he never even acknowledges Big E. It's like he's not even there. He's just killing Drew. And then he just snarls at the camera. Then the show goes off. The next week on Raw, Drew comes out. He's fired up. He calls out Keith Lee, as he does whenever Drew gets jumped. He's like, nah, you about to come out here and get this ass whooping or whatever. Keith Lee could be seen backstage walking furiously like through the tunnels or whatever. They like cut to the camera and he walking through. So you're like, oh, he like knocking people over and shit or whatever. And then like you like, oh shit, he about to go to the ring. We about to get this shit on like right now. Then his music hit, and then Drew's like in the ring, like ready or whatever. He like in a stance and shit. Then Keith Lee come from behind and hit him in the back with a chair and just start killing him with the chair, just fucking him up. And then Keith Lee at this point has like a new finisher kind of thing, or maybe a secondary finisher thing, but it's like kind of like it's a power slammy kind of thing or whatever. But he does that right on the chair or whatever. And the purpose of this is actually to kind of build up for when they go against each other, because Keith Lee's plan at this point is let's fuck up his back. When he does the Claymore, he has to land on his back. If he lands on his back after he does the Claymore, he might be in so much pain from all the back pain. He might not be able to cover me for another 6 seconds, which happens in the match that they end up having. Then he does that, and then he just looks at the hard cam and he just growls or whatever. He never talks because this is how you get him to be cool. I'm sorry. And then later on, we see Drew, and this is the same show. Drew's looking for Keith. He finds a truck or whatever, and he sees like Keith Lee like getting in. You can see like half of his body like getting in. And then Drew's like runs up to the truck, and right as like he's getting close to like the back of the truck, like you see a white hand in a suit jacket, a white person's hand, I meant to say, in a suit jacket, reach for the door and close it. And you're like, who was that? Or whatever. So then Drew catches up to the car, but he tries to like hit it and stuff, but nothing really works. The driver just drives off. So the next week, Drew shows up on Raw, but this is the week after the draft. So he's supposed to be on SmackDown, and Adam Pearce is trying to get him to leave or whatever. He realizes like, look, I can't get this guy out of here or whatever. So then Adam Pearce says, look, I have an offer for you. I'm going to make sure that Bearcat shows up under threat of whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. He's going to have a match with you or whatever. You guys are going to have a match, but you guys are going to have that one match. And regardless what's going to happen, you have that one match and you go back to SmackDown. Can we agree on that? And Drew says, yeah, I'll take that or whatever, right? So boom, you got Drew versus Bearcat later that night. It's a lot of crazy shit happening. There's a fire ass match or whatever. Drew looks like he's down, but then he does like a reversal out of that slam that Bearcat did to him onto the chair or whatever. But like the way he does the reversal, he like gets out of it quick, and he only has like so much time to kind of like get at Bearcat before he comes back at him. So he goes for like a short range Claymore, but they're kind of near the corner. So he ends up Claymore and the ref into the turnbuckle or whatever. But the way that like Keith Lee kind of like rolled out the way or whatever, he's not like at an advantage or anything. So he gets up, turns around, runs into that fucking Claymore. And then Drew realizes that he can't pin him because the ref is down. So then he goes to check on the ref while the ref is down. And he's like, what the fuck or whatever. And then he turns around and then boom, motherfucker, super kick. You know who it is? Adam Cole, baby. And then Adam Cole super kicks him 2 more times. after he gets that third one off, or whatever, he's out the ring. The ref eventually gets up. Bearcat just eventually like beats Drew with that same move or whatever, puts him down and he wins or whatever. And then Drew has to go back off the SmackDown pissed off that he like lost like that with Raw. So there's still like a tie between him and like Bearcat. There's still that string there that you can pull. So then Bearcat goes on to have some, it all gets revealed. Adam Cole is Bearcat's manager. Bearcat goes on to have some good matches with Damian Priest and some other people. And around this same time that all this stuff is happening, Edge had just come off of his feud with like Seth Rollins a little while prior. And, at this point, he doesn't do the Miz and Maurice thing. All he's worried about at this point is just, basically going to Royal Rumble because he wants to get a shot or whatever. Edge is like doing promo about going to Royal Rumble or whatever. Adam Cole like interrupts him or whatever. And then Adam Cole and Edge one-on-one at the Royal Rumble. Because this could have, if had you just not, this could have, but Edge and Adam Cole, they have a good ass match or whatever, but Edge ends up winning, even with Keith Lee interrupting, because Damian Priest comes out to help Edge. Remember I said Damian Priest and Bearcat have some matches or whatever. Basically they screwed Damian Priest out of that or whatever, so Damian Priest comes to help Edge. And what do they do later? I don't know, maybe form a group. And then so all four of them are in a Royal Rumble along with Drew or whatever. So you got all these ties, all these people fucking each other up, and all of them like trying to get at each other is part of the reason why Brock still wins like he does in real life, but kind of, it's less about him being way more powerful than everybody than him like being powerful and like everybody being distracted. So kind of like that kind of situation. Cole ends up talking his way into getting Bearcat into the Elimination Chamber, and then he has some feuds with like some people here and there over time or whatever. But all the while, like Bearcat's like the guy that they're really trying to get up, so he's doing most of the work or whatnot. Adam Cole isn't really having matches and stuff. He's being more like maniacal behind the scenes. Every once in a while he'll get involved and super kick somebody or something like that. But Bearcat ends up having a triple threat match for the IC title at WrestleMania or whatever. And at that point, it looks like he's gonna take it. And Adam Cole basically like screws him out of the championship, and they like break off. And Adam Cole goes to be off his like single thing, and then that's how you turn Bearcat into a wrecking ball monster. But he's also a face now because he was just the big guy who was being manipulated, and now he's done wrong. Aw. And then boom, now you can talk now, buddy, and say your weird words, and it would make sense. But yeah, that was me trying to book what it probably would have looked like had you guys just fucking stayed and tried this out. But yeah, Adam Cole debut on top of a re-debut for Bearcat.
Adam Cole will be back. Just telling you guys, I refuse to believe Adam Cole never wrestles in WWE. I refuse to believe that happens, bro. I know as someone who is like kind of a nerd, and these wrestlers are nerds, like these are like deep wrestling nerds. I know they sit and they don't talk about this. The only person they talk to this about is probably their therapist and their wives. I know they sit at home and see that Cody Rhodes pop that eats at them, bro.
Bro.
And I know Adam Cole thinks about that baby, how that used to ring out, bro. I know that eats at him every Monday night, bro.
Bro, the way
I,
the way Sheamus seemed like the hottest wrestler on the planet in 2022, that was either Keith Lee or Adam Cole's time if things worked
bro,
out better.
I just know I know that just it makes you sick to your stomach watching. I know you hurting, bro. I know you at the crib with Brandy just mad, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's your life, man.
Chan, what you got for us?
Cool beans. So mine was prophetic. Today, when we're recording this on Tuesday, January 6th, 2023, I wrote this earlier in the day. I wrote this like on my lunch break. Today, Adam Pearce tweets, "I'm hiring security." Just know that. Independent things. I didn't know that was happening today. He tweeted that he saw my vision and executed it. So, you guys remember Survivor Series 2021? we had The Rock promo with the egg. In this situation, in this story, instead of Mr. McMahon's egg, it is Adam Pearce's egg. Adam Pearce is like, I've lost my egg, somebody needs to find it. In this story, Pat McAfee is actually one who finds the egg. He is about to return it to Adam Pearce when who is that? Oh no, Austin Theory jumps Pat McAfee, takes the egg, returns it to Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is like, perfect. You know, I always knew I could respect you. Then come Friday, Adam Pearce in a backstage segment, and he's talking to what have I written down here? Oh, Sami Zayn, because this is still like Uso territory. And he's like, you know what, Sammy? I'm sick. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of how y'all come in here and talk to me and demand matches. You know what? That's why I hired some muscle. I hired someone who could show you superstars how to act. Boom. Austin Theory comes out, jumps Sami Zayn, which leads to a match with Sami Zayn later that night, where which Austin Theory gets over because Jimmy and Jay cannot figure out how to help Sammy, which again playing into the whole storyline. So as we continue through the storyline, Austin Theory debuts against Finn Balor, which earns him a spot in the Royal Rumble. He enters at number 3 and is eliminated by a surprise entrant Pat McAfee, thus continuing their feud. At Elimination Chamber, Austin Theory defeats Kevin Owens to earn a spot. Adam Pearce books him into Elimination Chamber. He is the last man standing against Brock Lesnar and is the last person eliminated. Because of this, and also because Theory then saves Adam Pearce from Brock Lesnar for throwing him in the match to begin with, Austin Theory gets a WWE title shot against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar quickly wins the match, but it is very humiliating for Austin Theory. So humiliating that Pat McAfee goes onto his show the next day and spends a whole 15-minute segment just making fun of Austin Theory and how stupid he looks. This obviously enrages Austin Theory. So the next day on Pat McAfee's show, he storms into his live stream, beats up him and his friends at the very end, and then walks off stage. So come Friday, we cut to the commentary table. It's Michael Cole there with who is that? Oh, Austin Theory is now on commentary. That's right. Adam Pearce has said, you know who we could really use on commentary? A real voice of WWE, someone who really understands wrestling, an uppercoming, not only superstar, but voice on the mic, Austin Theory. So Austin Theory is now on commentary with Adam Cole. As any of you who've watched SmackDown know, not Adam Cole, Michael Cole loves Pat McAfee, so he's very sad about this. So at the very end of SmackDown, you know, Austin Theory's done an okay job. You cut behind, there's someone in a black, you know, no logo zip up jacket, fully zipped up inside with the hood on and hat. Oh, wait a minute, that's Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee jumps over the barricade, jumps Austin Theory, challenges him to a match at WrestleMania. So during the match at WrestleMania, because of some chicanery on the part of Adam Pearce, Austin Theory does win the match. After winning the match, Austin Theory jumps Pat McAfee. Michael Cole comes out to the ring to stop the beating of one of his besties. Austin Theory then hits Michael Cole with the A-Town down. And then Austin Theory is in the ring celebrating with Adam Pearce, calling himself the new authority. Oh, break glass. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out. Stunner, Austin Theory, Stunner, Adam Pearce, Stunner, Michael Cole. Thus starting Austin Theory on his new gimmick, which is what I like to call Legend Killer 2.0, aka Time to Kill the Old Heads. So he goes through and has a number of feuds with old heads, leading to a match against WrestleMania, the following WrestleMania, a la Kevin Owens, where Austin Theory does lose to Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he gets his very big rub. There you go.
That is amazing.
I like that Mike. I think the McMahon storyline had some merit. It was just like no one likes Vince, and so that made it weird. But if you had that storyline, I feel like with someone else, it could be much more palatable.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. No, you spin. Shit, okay. Mine might not be as great, but I'm taking it to pandemic time. There were some debuts within the pandemic. You know, we got Matt Riddle on the main roster. We got Keith Lee, who came up on the main roster. But there was a faction that was the talk of the internet by the name of Retribution. Retribution, which, had good old Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, Retaliation. Who was the other person? Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, Reckoning.
I say Reckoning.
Yeah. And so they were eventually led by Mustafa Ali, and then they disbanded. So I'm taking it back. They debuted August 2020. Now, if you remember, something major happened that month as well at SummerSlam. A guy by the name of Roman Reigns came back. And so at SummerSlam, we expected Retribution was going to come in during that Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, no holds bar match, something like that. So the Fiend wins the match. And instead of Roman Reigns spearing the Fiend, Retribution jumps the Fiend. Then Roman Reigns comes out. Roman Reigns is leading Retribution. So Roman Reigns leads them for a while. The next week, they had what match did they have? They had some type of match at SummerSlam. And then Payback, they had the no holds bar triple threat. So they have the no holds bar triple threat match. And Roman Reigns is actually in the title match. Retribution jumps Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Roman Reigns comes in, pins one of them, wins the title. So Roman Reigns is leading Retribution. Jay Uso returns. If you remember, as soon as Roman wins the title, Jay Uso returns. Jay comes, he's like, yo, Uso, what's good, bro? I've been texting you, I saw you. And then, Roman's like, yo, I've been busy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, blah, blah, all that. But, you good, right? And then Jay is in that fatal four-way title contenders match that night. So Jay wins it. So the next week, Jay comes out. He's talking to Roman, and Retribution is like around the ring, and Jay's like, "Yo, what's good? Like, you had the bloodline. Like, why you need all these dudes like Ali and Slapjack and Jay calls them like wrong names because Jay just be saying shit. He calls them like Rickening and Slapface and Jace. Like he just calls them random shit. Roman's like my career, I've kind of walked alone, and I've had a lot of things, fall by the wayside for me, like aside when I was in the Shield. And it's just like I kind of needed a stronger presence than the Shield, so I got these guys. But I really hope that you win, the contenders match tonight. So I can see you at Clash of Champions. Jay wins the match. Clash of Champions comes up. Roman and Jay have their match. Jay looks like he's about to win. Ali trips him on the turnbuckle. Jay falls. Roman Superman punch, spear, pins him. The following SmackDown, Jay's like, yo, bro, I had you. Like, if your Retribution guys, didn't get involved, he's like, well, this is my family now. So when it comes to me losing the throne that I have, they're going to get involved to help me preserve what I have. Like, I'm sorry, but it's similar to what he said in real life. It's like, I got you a paycheck. You've never gotten a paycheck like that before. You were in the main event of a match. Like you've never seen anything like that before. Like you should be happy with what I gave you. But if you want another match against me, you got it. So they have the I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell. Roman and Jay go at it. It's spicy. Jimmy comes. As Jimmy is approaching the cell, Retribution comes out. Beats the fuck out of Jimmy. Jimmy gets cooked. So Roman can actually submit him, make him quit without Jimmy needing anything. And then Jay has to fall in line with Retribution. And then with Roman's actual blood getting involved, Roman is showing favoritism towards Jay because Jay is finally falling in line. So Ali, Slapjack, all of them, they're like, hey man, like this guy's new. Like we've been with you for months and you're kind of showing favoritism towards him. And Roman's like, well, you guys were kind of what I needed at the time, but like Jay is my family. Like he's always going to come first. And so Jay and Mustafa Ali are kind of bickering, going back and forth, getting at it. And their tension kind of hits a head because they're both on the Survivor Series team, Survivor Series 2020 for Retribution was on Raw, but they come over to SmackDown to be with Roman. So Mustafa Ali joins the Survivor Series team and Jay doesn't save him when he's getting pinned. So Ali starts a fight with him and then Jay gets pinned. SmackDown loses. So Roman's mad. So he puts them in a match. He's like, Ali, if you lose, you and all your guys are out. Jay, if you lose, you're out. I'm sorry, you're my family, but I've got to maintain the throne that I have. So, whoever is going to be my strongest allies is who I need to keep. So this match will determine it. Jay beats Ali. Retribution gets sent to the wayside. Roman and Jay actually beat the fuck out of all of them after the match to really fully like get them off. And this is one of those like beat downs where it's like, oh, like you guys are gonna be off TV for a while. So Roman and Jay just completely cooked them. And then we get the bloodline starting. And then a year later, Jimmy and everything. And this starts the whole blood because I think the thing with Roman that was so fascinating to me is like he's obviously who he is, a really strong champion, but he's also very paranoid. He's very insecure. He needed the bloodline. He needs those guys to kind of uplift him in moments where he could get got, like in the Finn match, in the Drew McIntyre match, in the Brock matches. So he gets these Retribution guys because like, oh, like I'm back. I'm the tribal chief. People are hyped that I'm back. Like I'm about to take over this shit. And then he kind of recognizes like keeping family close is better than keeping some randoms close. So yeah, that's my rewrite. Roman Reigns leads Retribution upon his return. And it gets spicy, but he ultimately chooses family over Slapjack and Mace and T-Bar.
You know, that's interesting because essentially with Sammy was kind of his lesson was trying to see how much he could expand the group or whatever, and then like learning he couldn't manage outside of like family, or maybe that's what it is. And having that with like an even larger group would be, but like the same kind of lesson would be super interesting. It would also be interesting to see like, I forgot what the timeline you said that was or whatever, but like it would be hilarious for like Ali and the rest of Retribution to go against the Bloodline in War Games or whatever, or some weird shit like that. But no, yeah, the different stuff that could have came out of that. Also potentially seeing where people could go individually, seeing where Mace could have gone individually, even Ali or whatever, after that. That's interesting. That would have been hilarious to see. I'd have liked that.
The only issue I think is that I'm just going Dijak and Mace and Mace are like too big. And like I don't know if Roman would have liked that because even with like Seth and Dean, like it was clear like I'm the big nigga here, and even with the Bloodline, like I'm the big dog, and like Dijak mad tall, bro. He like 6. I don't know if Roman likes to stand next to two dudes who's like clearing him low key high wise. But also, I think what you said was prophetic because I would say approximately 3 to 5 years from now, there will 100% be a SmackDown where in which Ali faces Jey Uso, and people are like, should Ali be the new WWE champion? Like that'll be his Kofi Mania match. Like that match will definitely happen. Like the way you explain, I'm like, yeah, that's gonna happen. Like that's 100%.
Yep.
And the people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, Ali!" They're gonna remember Ali's good because we're gonna have forgotten because it'll be 3 years from now, and then it'll be like the start of Kofi Mania and like when he got hurt. Like, remember Kofi Mania was supposed to be him. He got hurt, but so he should face Roman, and people get all hyped up about it. And I mean, it may happen at the time. Who fucking know? But I definitely see that happening 100%. Like whenever they decide that like not quasi reboot the bloodline, but whenever Roman like I'm sure after this long reign he'll be off TV for a little bit or maybe he'll do like a lesser feud to get somebody over. But when he bubbles back up into being the big champion again, Ali will definitely have some random match against one of his flunkies or something, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, this Ali guy can wrestle."
It is always funny when people remember Ali is a good worker because
Yeah,
that's never not been a thing.
it's not the issue. Like,
what the fuck is this character?
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got. And that's what we got, ladies and gentlemen. So that is our rewrite this week. We are taking debuts and giving you second impressions, second chances on certain debuts. So if you guys have any thoughts on whose debut you would love to rewrite, we would love to hear it in the Patreon comments on Twitter. Let us know. Of course, again, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, actually, the A Show RNC. Follow us individually on our social media platforms. I know I'm Armand Sather. He's Grandpa Chan. Cece, what's your Twitter again? Is it
Lil Quixote?
Lil Quixote, LILQUIXOTE.
Yes, sir.
So make sure you follow all of us. Talk wrestling with us. Talk it in a manner that is, like that we would actually want to talk to you about it. Like, don't be a loser. Like, as simple as that. Just don't be a loser. But yeah, of course, this is the Rewriters Room. So for myself, for Chan, for CC, the man with the pen, we'll see y'all very soon. Enjoy this episode.